In this abutting clip, Minneapolis Ambassador Jacob Frey continues to adjoin Donald Trump's lies about Operation Metro Surge and Minneapolis' actuality about crime, safety, and actionable clear in the back. It's absolutely about political retribution. Acknowledge you, Ranking Member Jayapal, Congresswoman Omar, associates of this committee. We are so beholden to accept you actuality today. Our ask is that you booty the things that you accept apparent, and you accept heard from Minnesota. You accompany them back to your corresponding districts. You allocution to your colleagues that aren't actuality with us. You allocution to both Democrats and Republicans about the actionable violations that are accident in Minnesota and Minneapolis. And we put a stop to this because what we're seeing on our streets is accidental abuses of force. This is an aggression for the account of creating anarchy by our own federal government to inter or arrest the circadian lives of tens of bags of people. As the advocate accepted said, this is not about safety. This is not about immigration. This is about bed-making anarchy on the streets of Minneapolis. This is about political retribution. And we in Minneapolis are adversity, the burden of it appropriate now. Let me acquaint you what that looks like. It looks like businesses closing. It looks like bodies on the streets that are abashed to get best up. It looks like affiliated state citizens accepting taken about area. They don't apperceive area, their activity, nor back their activity to acknowledgement to their families. It's families broken apart. It's schools closing. It's an accidental amount of Aborigine dollars aloof to try to accumulate order. If this were about order, there would be a simple way to restore it. And let me acquaint you a secret. It's not adequate by added federal agents. Adjustment would be restored. And I will accomplish this anticipation if those federal agents left. As anon as they leave, we will accept peace. We will accept assurance and adjustment will be restored. Before the federal agents came here, our burghouse was experiencing a blaze comeback. Indeed, we were on the way to a renaissance. Assurance had been improved. Abomination was bottom-moored in about every category, in about every neighborhood. Thus far in 2026, after most I checked, we had alone had 4 shootings. 2 of them were icy, an absolute burghouse of 435,000 people for shootings, and 2 of them were icy. It is bright that the practices at IC's application is unconstitutional. They are not methodical. They are not able-bodied planned out. They accept taking bodies out of their cars to apprehend them on above streets. Larboard the car running, not in park. Car rolls bottomward the street. You don't charge the ability to mount out that is not safe. We had baby accouchement that except been damaged by the assimilation of some anatomy of gas. We've had apart dogs that were larboard abandoned in the streets. Afterwards, IC arrested and collection abroad with its owner. This is not authoritative Minneapolis safer. This is not about safety. And I anticipate the base of bullet in actuality is this is not sustainable. We accepted tens of bags of bodies in our burg how beautifully angle up for one another. They've showed this absolute country who we are, how you adulation your neighbor, how you accomplish a charge to the greater acceptable in society. And we accept apparent constant actionable convenance by IC acute alone on the base of are you Latino, are you Somali, and a fresh aimless pickups thereafter. Bodies are walking about on the artery with their passports. That's not American. That's the extreme affair from it. Please booty it back to your corresponding constituencies and your colleagues a bulletin of if you adulation your own community. Do not let this appear in ours. That's absolutely the key to all of this here. That Minneapolis, Minnesota alone Donald Trump and Republican behavior for decades, and they are succeeding. Their communities are safer. Their economies are stronger. But because Donald Trump is a thug, because Tim Walz is from the accompaniment of Minnesota, Island Omar is from the accompaniment of Minnesota. He wants political retribution. He wants to breach bottom-ward their cities. Alone in Trump's America, do you accept federal agents beheading accouchement like Jacob Frey declared there? Now, Kier, the Aboriginal female, Aboriginal Asian American, Aboriginal and Brood, Ambassador of St. Paul Batten, afterwards Jacob Frey, and gave us added acumen into the alarm and the abhorrence that her constituents, her ancestors' members, as Asian Americans are active through appropriate now. Ambassador her, you're accustomed for 4 minutes. Acknowledge you, friends, neighbors, and associates of the affiliated state Senate and House. Welcome to our Basal Burghouse, St. Paul. Area, we are a big burghouse, but a baby community. I sit afore you today a new affidavit and ambassador of a burghouse beneath annoyed by the federal government. Appropriate now. Federal Law Administration Admiral far outnumber bounded Law Administration Admiral in Minneapolis and St. Paul. The adverse aftereffect of this activity are bouncing far and advanced throughout our communities, beyond the actual and adverse animal assessment of rounding up our association based on what they're tending, and complete like the bread and butter impacts on our burghow are far-reaching and acceptable unquantifiable in the abreast term. St. Paul accessible schools charge of budding so that they can action alien acquirements for acceptance so that they can feel safe in their learning. We've accustomed letters of federal law administration, admiral activity, door-to-door allurement bodies, area the Asian bodies alive appropriate in our actual own city. I myself accept accustomed to admonition to backpack my authorization with me, because I may have that they may try to ambition me based on what I attending like as well. Our immigrant, refugee, and communities of blush are hurting. I've been affair with immigrant business owners to advance affairs to bandy them a buoy and advise them break afloat. I've heard from them that some of their sales accept a loan 60% if they're like able to break accessible at all. They are relying on association networks and volunteers to defend their entrances and advise of their parking lots. It is clarification their assets and ours. Our law administration admiral are responding to incidents beyond our burghow in which association are activity threatened and accepting their rights violated. Car accidents acquired by ICE agents abrogation concrete injuries and hazards on our roadways. They accept accursed shots in our streets, and we've heard from citizens who were captivated in apprehension centers in a U.S. Aborigine section. Our association are abashed by the cardinal of agents in uniforms address the words badge that do not behave, or amusement association the way St. Paul badge admiral do. It is a brace of the assurance oral our officers. If this were about safety, federal agents would be activity afterwards bodies who are absolutely a blackmail to our community. Instead, they are casting an advanced net, blasting up association who adorn our community, accord our economy, and accomplish up the bold of our cities and state, bearing action for our communities. We are arena ought for Trump's war in America, a war on our democracy, on our freedoms, on our rights as Americans. It is in our backyard today, and it is alone amount of time afforded is in yours. As aldermanic colleagues of the accomplished akin of our federal government, we charge you to act, to allege out, to drag belief of what is accident to our residents. I was with my parents after most night for an hour talking to them, and they told me they hadn't opened their blinds in days. They were abashed that their neighbors would acquaint them that that abode was an Asian house, that my parents accept both confused all of their hospital visits, their doctor's visits to alien or to basal, because they're abashed to leave their home. That is the America that we are active and appropriate. Now area bodies cannot admission food. They cannot admission bloom care. They cannot admission their basal needs because of the alarm, because our cities are beneath siege. We charge your advice, whatever it may be. We are continuing affiliated and strong, but we charge actual abatement. For our cities, acknowledge you so abundant for actuality, and acknowledge you so abundant for appropriation of what is accident in our burghow and our state. I crop back my time. Not alone is Operation Metro Surge antibacterial the association in these cities, antibacterial the abridgment in these cities. It's antibacterial these people's bloom in their lives. So, I appetite to go back to what Jacob Frey said there at the end of his statement. We all charge the bandage com to allege out adjoin what's accident in Minneapolis and St. Paul, because it could appear in our cities, abnormally if you're live in a dejected accompaniment or a dejected city. Because again, we accept a blackmailer as the admiral of the affiliated states.